The Queen adores her private residences of Balmoral in Scotland and Sandringham in Norfolk, but she might not have inherited them when she took the throne due to a royal crisis. When King George VI died in 1952, the new Queen Elizabeth II inherited Balmoral Castle and Sandringham House in Norfolk. The abdication of King Edward VIII in 1936, who wished to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson, had thrown the royal family into turmoil, and George had been required to purchase the private estates from his elder brother. If George had not bought Balmoral and Sandringham, the Queen would not have inherited them straight away when she became Queen. Unlike Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace, Sandringham and Balmoral are not Crown estate properties. In fact, they are the private property of the royal family and have been passed down the royal generations. When King George V died in 1936, Sandringham and Balmoral passed to his eldest child, the new King Edward VIII. While negotiating the terms of his exit later that year, King George VI reportedly agreed to pay his brother the value of the estates, nearly £300,000 at the time. King Edward VIII became the Duke of Windsor after the abdication, and Wallis became his Duchess. The couple spent much of their later life in France and remained financially supported by George, but the issue of money remained a sticking point between the two brothers. Alexander Larman, author of The Crown in Crisis, Countdown to the Abdication, told Vanity Fair, the relationship between Edward and George was difficult from immediately after the abdication, due to the dual problems of Wallis never being granted her longed-for HRH title and through questions of money. Edward believed that he should be granted a pension from the royal family out of gratitude for his services, but he also lied about the extent of his own personal wealth. Balmoral was purchased by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert in 1852 after the couple fell in love with the beautiful Scottish Highlands. Their son King Edward VII purchased Sandringham House while he was still the Prince of Wales, and both properties were beloved by the Queen's grandfather, King George V. When King George VI took on the throne, he clearly shared his love of the countryside with his two daughters, as the Queen has spent most of her summers in Scotland for the last 7 decades. While in residence at Balmoral, the Queen is visited by her many children and grandchildren, and she also receives the Prime Minister for a weekend visit. Sandringham is the Queen's beloved winter residence, and for many years she has spent Christmas with the royal family at the Norfolk Hideaway. The royal family are pictured on Christmas Day every year attending St. Mary Magdalene Church, which is nearby to the Queen's Sandringham estate. The Queen usually stays in residence at Sandringham until her accession anniversary, as her father died at the property on February 6, 1952.